Cup champions.
What's going on? We are live from Los Angeles, the city of champions once again. Dodger Nation. We really did it again. We have just gone back to back in the MLB for the first time since 98, 99, and 2000 when the Yankees did it. I don't even know what to say. What an epic game 7 last night. I literally, after we lost the 5th game, because the last time I went live was after the Freddie game. When we lost game 5, I was like, okay, I think we're probably cooked. I don't know if we're going to be able to win 2 games on the road. But lo and behold, we won 2 games on the road to win the World Series in a hostile environment. Shout out King Charles for the super chat. Super chats are turned on if you want to drop $1 or a dime. My Twitter is still hacked, so appreciate everybody. If you are watching on Twitter, can you please quote tweet this post and say at X support, please help Dime Dropper get his account back? At X support or at support, please help Dime Dropper get his account back because I need my account back, dude. There's no way we can win a World Series and I can't even boast about it on my account. It's an absolutely horrible feeling, but what is a great feeling is that we won the championship again, and what a team effort this was. Obviously, a gutsy win in game 6, Yamamoto masterclass. You had the incredible final play by Kike Hernandez to win us the game. But this one, I mean, it felt like and I missed the first couple innings because I was coaching a game. So I got home, or I got to my sister's place around the 5th inning. And we're down 2 runs. And I'm thinking to myself, like, uphill battle. Like, I had not even thought about the fact that I could be going to a parade on Monday. We could be celebrating in the streets tonight. Like, it never felt like it this postseason for me. It did last year, but I don't know why. I just didn't feel like it. And I just think I'm so not used to any of my teams going back to back because this is the first time it's ever happened to one of my teams that I just never even like envisioned what that could feel like. And I mean, I'm going to throw on the highlights in the background right now to watch just towards the end of the game because, oh my goodness, like it was special. Like obviously last year was amazing, it looked like we were about to choke again. We beat San Diego in that game 4, and then game 5, Yoshi took care of the rest. But guys like Mookie Betts, even Freddie Freeman, who hadn't been good for us in the playoffs, which is crazy to think about saying now, but those guys really stepped up and came up clutch. And then with the help of the new additions like Tommy Edman, Teoscar Hernandez, and of course Shohei, we got over that hump last year, beating both New York teams too. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. And then you have this year where it's been a weird season. Our starting pitching has been the star, but they've been so injured all year. Our relief pitching, like we really won with the bullpen pups. We did not have the bullpen dogs this year. Blake Trinan did have that huge game 1 against the Brewers, but he did not have the same season. Alex Vesia didn't have the same season. And of course, Roki Sasaki, one of the big reasons we won this World Series, kind of just a revelation to be our closer, and took that role after having an injured season and came up huge. I mean, you couldn't be happier for the guy. And then, our hitting, our bats, I was saying in the middle of the game 7 yesterday, I was like, our bats have fallen asleep. Like if we don't win this series, it's going to be because our bats have not come through for us. And Mookie Betts especially was majorly ass in this series, at least from a hitting perspective. We just didn't get enough from other guys. The bottom of the order, the Miggy Rose of the world, the Pajes, those guys, it just felt like no chance they could even get a hit. Which brings us to the moment that it felt like maybe we've got a chance. This home run by Max Brass Muncy, the all-time leader in home runs for the Dodgers. And he crushed that shit. He absolutely crushed that shit. And by the way, the only thing I can criticize Dave Roberts for is maybe leaving in Shohei too long. But there should be no more Dave Roberts slander ever again. ever again. Every coach makes mistakes. You cannot say a word about Dave at this point. He's brought 3 titles to the city. He made all the right moves for the most part in these 2 years in the playoffs. Like the slander's got to stop. Like the slander's got to stop. Could you do a better job? He makes some questionable decisions at times. Well, what coach doesn't? At the end of the day, he pushed all the right buttons to get us to 2 straight titles. 2 straight titles. So he deserves a lot of credit, obviously. Andrew Friedman, the GOAT. Everybody can say we have all the money and we have LA. Andrew Friedman has got us everyone. And by the way, I got to give a shout out to Emmett Sheehan, man. He had, for all the trouble with our relievers this postseason, he was really good overall. Gave us some big innings in game 3. We wouldn't have done it without him. But look, the Blue Jays fans, I'm not going to say I feel bad because I don't feel bad for any fan base since I'm a Clipper fan, but it clearly wanted this so bad, and we've won in recent years, or literally last year, and then of course 2020. But shit, man, we went through a lot of pain over the years for these moments. We went through a lot of deep postseason losses, 2 World Series defeats back to back. I mean, it was heartbreaking. And then how about Snellzilla coming in and putting on a shift? Snellzilla. Yeah, fuck George Springer. I mean, absolutely huge postseason from Snellzilla, even though he didn't have a great World Series. I mean, before the World Series, the guy was just absolutely lights out. He had dealt with injuries all year, and he gave us a huge 8th inning right there. And then how about this? The most unlikely of heroes for our Dodgers, Miggy Rowe. Miggy freaking Rowe. And how about the way he battled on this at-bat, Miggy Rowe? He is an absolute legend now. I couldn't even believe it. I could not even believe it. Of all people. He apparently hadn't hit against a righty like all season or something like that. He got a hit against a righty. Look at the way he crushed that shit. Miggy freaking Rowe. Unbelievable. You got to, and then I for sure thought it was too good to be true when we had a situation where we had the bases loaded. We took Snellzilla out and put Yoshi in, and I'm just going to get started on Yoshi. I mean, the way he played in this postseason, including last night, this guy is a certified Dodger legend now. These 2 titles are in large part thanks to him. He was a well-deserved MVP this year, and the way he stepped up in that game 7 last night after pitching a game 6 and having these complete games. I mean, I don't even know what to say, man. This guy is supernatural. Bases loaded, 1 out. And then look at this play by Miggy Rowe. And then Will Smith to keep his foot on the base, on home plate, I'm sorry. My goodness. What a sequence of events for Miggy Rowe. Because I thought for sure when they were bases loaded with 1 out, we were cooked. And you got to give Yoshi a ton of credit, man. You got to give him a ton of credit. This guy had it rolling on all cylinders in this postseason. Then how about this one? This was also really nerve-wracking. I was like, holy shit, Kike and Andy Pages headed for a collision. I love Kike Hernandez, but his body was rightfully sacrificed for that one from Andy Pages because when that ball was in the air, bro, I was like, if this is a drop, if this hits the floor, we are fucked. It's over. I mean, the suspense for a neutral fan was unbelievable. Thank God, though, I'm not a neutral fan, and we came out on the winning side because what a win it was. And it's like they always say it gets harder every year. You better believe it gets harder every year. I mean, it got harder this year. And then, we're going to skip this. I thought when we blew, by the way, 10th inning, bases loaded, I thought we blew it there too. I was like, fuck, we did not take advantage of opportunity. We're going to pay for it. But Yoshi kept on dealing. And I also give a shout out to Tyler Glasnow as well for a great postseason, solid game 7. But Yoshi, I mean, my goodness, this guy is just special. And then the man who is going to get the plaudits, Will Smith, the real Fresh Prince, the best Will Smith, the hero. Incredible postseason by him. Big play after big play. Huge game 2 by him. And this, his greatest moment as a Dodger. And this guy's had a lot of great moments as a Dodger. But this is the best one, obviously. Unbelievably clutch. a home run that we're going to remember forever. I mean, my goodness. And then, of course, the double play to finish the job. It just doesn't get better. Like, you could not have scripted it any better for us. You could not have scripted it any better. And Alejandro Kirk, too. Look at Mookie Betts making that play. And that was it. Let's hold on. We got to hear the commentary on this.
First in Barger. Here's the 0-2.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Bounces one up the middle. Betts to the back. Over to first to beat the champ. You gotta knock him out. The Dodgers stand tall and win back-to-back titles. From backs against the wall to back-to-back. The Dodgers cement their dynasty. They win Game 7 in extra innings. 5-4 the final. They mob Yamamoto on the left side of the mound.
Wow. And just like that, Los Angeles, we got a parade on Monday. I'm going to release a video tonight of some of the scenes in downtown. I went last night, but last year I was at Tom's right across from Staples Center when we won. So when we won, I hit the streets and I was already part of that initial crowd. And what the cops would do was just like try to clear it out. And then you would move to the next street and move to the next street as they would just kind of follow you. This time we drove about an hour after the game ended, trying to find a crowd, and we couldn't quite find anything. It felt like everything was dispersed, but couldn't find anything. But I saw videos of a crowd doing the same thing as last year. So I just was like, damn, like, I guess we missed out. Maybe we went too early. Maybe we didn't stay late enough. I don't know. We were just walking around downtown for a while. And eventually we were like, I guess there's no crowd. So we packed it up. But my goodness, man, it was an incredible win. I can't believe we've done it again. I've seen the Kings now win 2 titles. I've seen my Rams win a Super Bowl now. I've seen the Dodgers win 3, but really 2 that felt super real because that 2020 was just different. And then obviously the Clippers I haven't seen. Chelsea I've seen win everything. So I'm just blessed, man. We're all blessed to be witnessing this era of Dodger baseball. You know, when we got Shohei, we knew we had to win at least one. We had to win at least one. And we've just gotten guys every year. So it's like you have to win. You know, everybody's saying we bought the championship. Whatever. There's no salary cap in baseball, so you can go fuck yourself. Because we've lost year after year, even with the highest payroll or whatever it may be, we haven't come up clutch. You still got to go out there and play the games. And Toronto was a very valiant opponent. But once again, LA wins the war. Kendrick Lamar over Drake, America over Canada, the Dodgers over the world. And this is how it really feels to be part of a dynasty. We're supporting a dynasty. When everyone's saying we're bad for the sport, is sick of seeing us win, it's a beautiful feeling to be the villain. And I embrace everything. And I think we all embrace it. Hate us because they ain't us. Los Angeles, a city of champions once again. We will have a vlog of the parade on Monday. If I have any of my mods in here, please link the vlog from last year for the parade. Did not get enough views, but I had a vlog for the parade last year, and we're going to get some good footage tomorrow. I'll be releasing some of the footage that I got. It's probably going to be like a 2 to 3 minute video of the footage I got last night in downtown. Bam, 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 horns like going crazy, man, in the streets. It was a vibe, of course, and it's just, you know, we just got to appreciate this run. I kept saying to Dodger fans as the run was going on before my Twitter got freaking hacked, I was saying, appreciate this, guys, because you just don't know how long it's going to last. You know, in 15 years, 20 years, we might be remembering, man, remember when the Dodgers had a dynasty when they had Shohei Ohtani and Yamamoto and Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman? Like, we're going to be remembering these moments. You know, this is like literally a dynasty. And next year, we're going to be the favorites to win again. So it's really special. Something special is really happening right now. And it's LA's most popular team at the moment. No offense to the Lakers, who historically have had the most success, but it's just, I'm just blessed, I think, to be a part of this city. And I said it last year when we lost the World Series in 2017 and 2018, I was in Massachusetts in college, and I wasn't with any Dodger fans like that. So when we lost to the Red Sox and I got tormented by my friends, that shit hurt. That shit stung. And I just remember feeling like one day, yes, the Rams did win today. I forgot to say it. So it's just a great day overall for me, a great weekend. But I remember thinking to myself when we lost that World Series to the Red Sox, I was like, one day, I went to UMass, baby, the best school in Massachusetts. But I remember when I just felt like I cannot wait for us to win a World Series and me be at home for it and just be able to appreciate it with my family, my friends, and celebrate like those guys are celebrating. And the fact that it's happened 2 years in a row now. And you know what sucks? Because this hat is the only piece of Dodger memorabilia that made it out of the fires because I made sure that I took it. I made sure that I took my Dodger hat when they said, everybody get out of the Palisades. And I took it because the Dodger hat is more than just a sports team's hat to me. It's a symbolic symbol of Angelinos, and not just what this team means, but what this, the LA, the iconic hat. It's a brand. It's it's a fashion statement, but the Dodgers bring everyone together. They bring Rams and Chargers fans together. They bring Clipper and Laker fans together. And I just, because of the affordability of tickets, that's where I feel like the Dodgers have kind of surpassed the Lakers right now. I think on a game-to-game basis, obviously everybody watches the Lakers more. It's basketball. Everybody loves basketball in LA. It's the number one sport. But it's just the way the Dodgers bring people together, and it's the affordable for the working class. And just obviously the Latino influence with Fernando Valenzuela. Shout out to the great Fernando Valenzuela. We've won 2 titles since he passed away. I just think it's an amazing feeling to be a Dodger fan, and I'm just very thankful right now. And I it's crazy because just last year we were talking about how we always choked, things never go our way, and now everything is going our way. And I think we're all just blessed. You don't take these moments for granted. I try not to, and I'm just happy to be able to document this as a content creator, even if my fucking Twitter's hacked. But I'm just really, really thankful, thankful for everybody. Mookie Betts, 4-time champ now. Freddie Freeman, 3-time champ, Dodger legend. Now, how does that game 3 home run age? Like, he did it again. 2 years of Freddie Freeman dingers to win us a championship, essentially. And then you've got Yamamoto, man. Yamamoto. What a legend. Like, that dude is just such a beast. And I'm just so excited to keep on supporting him in his journey with the Dodgers. Snellzilla, Tyler Glasnow, they were turned up last night. And then you've got all the other guys, man. Like, all these guys are just going to be remembered forever. Miggy Roll, Kike, Will Smith now, my goodness. Max Muncy. Like, we've had Max Muncy for a minute. And, of course, the GOAT himself. It wasn't his best night last night, but it felt like at times he was carrying our offense in this postseason, or mainly the World Series. And then, of course, Game 4. And, yes, thank you for mentioning Will Klein. We cannot forget about Will Klein. But Shohei, I mean, the dude is just a phenomenon. 2 years we've had him, and both years we've won a championship. I mean, it's a blessing. Like, it's just a blessing to have him. He's putting his name up there with all the LA greats. And, we've won 8 titles now in LA, 9 in total. And I've gotten to see 3 of them. So the next time we win a title for the Dodgers, another World Series, and it's going to happen in my lifetime the way things are going. But man, if we never won a title by the time I died, I'd be satisfied at this point. Like, we won back to back. Some people don't even see that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think when the next time we win, that'll be title number 10 and 9 in LA. I would have witnessed 4 of them. So, yeah, now we have more title. Let's see. This is my most satisfying part about this whole thing, right? The more satisfying part about this whole thing is that we now have more championships than our sworn nemesis, the Giants. They've got 8, we've got 9. And if you want to do the whole, it's because they won 1 title in New York, 1905. They won a 2nd title in New York, 1921. They won a 3rd title in New York, 1922. And they won a 4th title in New York. So they've only won what? 3 titles in the Bay Area? And you wanted to compare them to us? Get out of here, man. They don't compare. So sit down, simmer down, San Francisco. We are the best in the NL West. Not now, but also historically. 8 titles in LA. 8 titles. 2 in the 80s, 3 in the 2010s. Sorry, in the 2020s. Then what was it? 62? No, 63. I got to remember these titles, man. I got to be sharper on that. 1955 was the one in Brooklyn, and then 1959, 63, and 65. So 2 in the 60s, 1 in the 50s, 2 in the 80s, and now 3 in the 2020s. The Dodger dynasty. I'll catch you at the parade tomorrow, man. It's just a blessing. Now let's shift gears a little bit to so you're going to definitely, I hope you guys all watch the parade video, man. It'll be great. Now let's shift gears a little bit to the Clippers against the Pelicans. So I missed the game, obviously. It was at a Halloween party. We needed to win this game. First in-season tournament game, but we just needed to win because, as I said before the season, easy start to the season. We already fumbled that game against Utah. We need to be able to at least win 7 of these first 10 games. Hopefully 8 of them, but 7 of them at least. And to start the game, and I did a locked on for this earlier, so you can check that out. We had Derek Jones, and we didn't start John Collins against Zion. We went with the same lineup. Beal was back, though. So we had Beal, Kawhi, Zoo, James, and Derek. And DJ started out on Jeremiah Fears, who's been impressive so far. Kawhi Leonard on Herb Jones, Zoo on Eve Missy, James Harden on Zion. And I was shocked that Zion did not go at James Harden like that to begin the game at all. And like the first couple of quarters, he was fairly quiet. And then Brad Beal on Trey Murphy. And then on their side, they had Fears on Beal, Zion on Kawhi. And again, we didn't really go at that matchup either, even though that could be exploited potentially. Herb Jones on James Harden, Trey Murphy on DJ, and Eve Missy on Zoo. All the bigs were in drop coverage. Later in the game, Eve Missy went to a little hedge action. But the Pels started out hot from 3, and we were 0 for 4 from 3. Good looks, though, but they were hot. 5 for 10 in the first quarter, while we were 2 for 11 from 3 in the first quarter. But both teams were shooting well from the field. They were up 17-10 early, partially because Bradley Beal was at fault for 2 miscommunications. One time when there was supposed to be a switch and he went, it was 2 on the ball. And we actually switched up. Ty Lue switched up the minutes in this game. He went with Kawhi Leonard and James Harden, essentially switching their rotation, like switching their minutes. Their rotation. So James Harden usually played the whole first and third quarter and then subs out to start the fourth. But in this game, and this is a response to the game where he got tired against Golden State, then this time we had Kawhi playing the whole first and third quarter, James coming out like 7 or 8 minutes into the first and third, and Kawhi playing the whole quarter with Chris Paul coming in for James Harden, and then James kind of leading that second unit in the beginning of the second and fourth. So that was interesting, and it ended up paying dividends for us. I didn't mind it at all. But I thought James did a pretty good job in the first quarter of letting other guys get involved. And I've been saying that there's an easier path to not tiring James Harden out, and that's playing through Kawhi more early in games, but also playing through Zubats more early in games. And it was working early on with Zoo. We had a nice little pick and roll with him and Beal that led to a little push shot. Then we had a jump hook. I'm sorry, not a jump hook, a spin baseline from him and a dunk, and then a putback tip in, and then a nice pass when the Pelicans went through like this 1-3-1 zone for a while. A nice pass from John Collins on the baseline to get Zoo an and 1. So 10 points in the first quarter for Zoo, and he was blocking some shots. And I figured even though we were down 26-28 after the first, we just got to make some threes and we'll be good. But I like the overall approach to the offense. And then the second quarter, we had James come in with no Chris Paul. And I thought James actually did a pretty good job working defensively. He did a good job of faking and recovering with a high hand to shooters. And as far as the Pels defense, when they had Matkovic in, they went with switching 1 through 5 kind of scheme, and James Harden started to cook, blowing by him, creating good shots in pick and roll. A lot of nice lob passes from James. One to John Collins, one to Derek Jones Jr. And John Collins, I thought he made a great impact in that second quarter. He got a lob from James Harden. He got an and 1 in transition. He crashed the offensive glass. He was just doing what he's been showing that he can do for us so far this season, which is give us a lot of energy, a lot of athleticism, and just coming in there and trying to affect the game in several ways. And I loved what I saw from John Collins, especially in that second quarter. And we went on a 15-3 run in that second quarter, capped off by Nicholas Batum hitting a three to make it 41-34. But the Pelicans went on an 8-0 run to respond. And Jordan Poole was playing really, really well in this game. It was kind of one of those classic Jordan Poole heaters. But James was on a little Harden heater in that second quarter. 14 points in the quarter, great lob passes, getting downhill, jump shot started going. And I also thought we got some really good minutes from Chris Dunn. He had 3 steals in the first half. They only counted 2 of them to him. Kawhi Leonard had 5 steals in the first half. So we saw a very active Kawhi defensively as well in terms of his hands and playing the passing lanes. And we played some 2-3 zones, and that got us a couple of steals, kind of giving the Pelicans a different look that they had to go against. Late in the quarter, James Harden hit a logo 3 to get the 2 for 1. And then Jordan Poole, as I said, he was starting to hit. DJ had a beautiful putback dunk at the buzzer at the end of the second quarter, and that was his second putback dunk of the half. So at halftime, we led 67-59. We outscored the Pels 41-31 in the second quarter. And all I was thinking was, if we just make some threes, we'll blow them out. And in the third quarter, Kawhi Leonard hit 3 threes, including the beautiful snatchback on Zion to make it 80-71 that caused the timeout. And then Bradley Beal had 5 straight points, one off of a screen for 3, and then another fast break layup. And he had 7 points in the third quarter, and we were on a 13-0 run to lead 87-71. And as of after a 16-2 run, we were up 90-73, which would be our biggest lead of the game. And then Zion started turning up. It felt like we were going to run away with it. This became way too close for comfort, but Zion started turning up, attacking us relentlessly. I don't know what took him so long, and it made the game very close. We outscored the Pels 27-25 in the third, but they outscored us 40-32 in the fourth quarter. So 40 points in the fourth is just too much. I thought Brook Lopez was not great in this game. He was missing a lot of jumpers, or just missing a lot, and it was just mainly taking jumpers. And I'm thinking sometimes he's just not taking the best shots for me. I think he's got to be a little bit less shot happy. But Jordan Poole made a 3 off a Zion offensive rebound in that fourth quarter to make it a 2-point game. James Harden restored some order with a nice crossover on Zion for a layup. And then after Lopez got a block, James hit a pull-up 3 to make it 105-96, which led to a timeout. The Pels were scared to switch Jordan Poole on to James Harden, so they were hedging with him. But the Pels kept fighting back. They tied the game, and then we hit 2 threes. One was Derek Jones on the corner, and then Kawhi to make it 113-107. And one thing I was wondering at this point was, why isn't John Collins playing to end the game, especially when Zion's starting to cook? You know, we don't really have many bodies to guard Zion. He's like the closest thing we could get to that. So I was pretty surprised at that. We had a lot more minutes of Chris Dunn and Derek Jones playing together, which gives you a lot of point of attack defense. But Zion is a more interior guy. But anyway, one thing I love to see was Kawhi Leonard taking over late in the game, because he's had a lot of moments as a Clipper where he hasn't been super great in terms of taking over games and just being clutch for us, honestly. And this, along with the Portland game, he has been. And maybe, see, I used to criticize the Paul George rotation, which was Paul plays the third and first, and then, Kawhi plays the whole first and third, Paul plays the whole fourth and second, and we give Kawhi Leonard a rest to begin the fourth quarter. But then I always felt like sometimes Paul would get going with Kawhi out, and then when Kawhi came in, he didn't want to steal Paul George's flow, and then Kawhi wouldn't really get going, and the game would come down to Paul George at the end. But I, largely trust Kawhi Leonard the most, more than Harden, more than Paul George, so I want him to have the ball. But the question is it better for him to get a little rest in the first 6 minutes of the quarter? Let me know in the comments. Is it better for him to get a rest in the first 6 minutes of the quarter, or is it better for Kawhi to play the whole fourth quarter so he can get a rhythm as the game goes on? But this time it worked. He got going right away. He was hitting some huge jumpers. It was 124-117 with 105 left, and you thought we pulled away and withstood their little push, but no. Zion got an and one. Sadiq Bey had a couple of free throws, and then Kawhi Leonard gave us a little of a reminder to that game 1 turnover against the Nuggets, where he had the ball close to the sideline, and he presented it a little bit too much to Jeremiah Fears, who hit the ball, and then it hits Kawhi Leonard's arm and goes out of bounds, and they get the ball back. Zion makes both free throws to tie the game, and then we have the moment from Kawhi Leonard, his 5th game winner as a Clipper. First, it was against the Houston Rockets in 2019-20. Then it came against the Charlotte Hornets in 2022-23. And then we had the and one against Philadelphia last season. Or was it? I think it was 2024. We had the and one against Philadelphia in 2024. Then last year against Sacramento. And then now this year. So he officially, and what a beautiful shot it was. The pump fake, got two guys in the air. And now he officially has more game winners than Paul George for us. Because Paul George had the Houston game. He had a go-ahead bucket against the Cavs that you can technically consider maybe a game winner. Game winner against the Thunder, his first year with us. Actually, no, he tied him because he also had the game winners against Cleveland and Golden State last year. So he tied Paul George in terms of game winners. That's, of course, if you count the Cleveland go-ahead and one from Paul George at one of the games that I went to. I believe that was early 22-23 because, yeah, Donovan Mitchell was playing. But let's take a look at the Kawhi Leonard shot. It was a beautiful one. And again, you know the sad part? Both games that Kawhi Leonard hit a buzzer beater the last two seasons, I wasn't at the game. And I've been in the majority of the home games. Not this season yet because I've missed two and went to the opener, but I'll be at both games this week. So you'll get a vlog tomorrow and you'll get a vlog on Tuesday. So I'm excited for that. But let's take a look at this.
3 to shoot. Kawhi for the win. Damn! Clippers win! The beauty of this play.
What I love is that Kawhi is going towards the ball. You know what I'm saying? He's going to get it.
Kawhi came in big time, but Derrick Jones Jr. didn't try to.
That might have been a travel. He might have moved that pivot. That might have been a travel, but we'll take it.
He got it across quickly, which left some time for Kawhi to do what Kawhi did.
Wow. What a shot. So great to see that, man. We needed that win regardless of how we could get it. So 126-124 is the final. We're 3-0 now at home. 0-2 on the road. The Pelicans are 0-5. I've only watched 3 of their games, or like paid attention to 3 of their games. But Zion finished with 29 points on 9 for 17 shooting. I don't know what took him so long to get going. Jordan Poole had 30 points off the bench on 9 for 15 shooting and 7 for 13 from 3. So 7 of his 9 shots were threes. That was impressive. And then you had us. Chris Paul only played 9 minutes, the 9 minutes that James Harden was out. So, I mean, I don't like James and Chris playing together at this age, but so I just think that hopefully we can get more minutes from Chris so then James can rest a little bit more because 39 minutes is still just too much. But James had a great game as well. Chris Paul had 3 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists, and no turnovers on 1 for 4 shooting and 1 for 2 from 3. So it was nice to see him take care of the ball, which is more like him. I still don't think he's had like a good game these first 5 games, though. Brook Lopez gave us 14 minutes. He had 3 points, 3 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block, and a turnover on 1 for 5 shooting and 0 for 3 from deep. I don't think he was very good. John Collins. Actually, no, let's go to Nico next. He had 3 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 turnovers on 1 for 4 shooting and 1 for 2 from 3 in 16 minutes. And then John Collins. I think he could still play more. I don't know how long it's going to be that we keep saying that, but 14 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover on 6 for 10 shooting and 1 for 3 from deep. I thought he was awesome, especially in that second quarter. So we got a total of 29 points off our bench, but Jordan Poole had 30 by himself. So we got outscored in that department. Chris Dunn, really solid game, and he's shot efficiently so far to begin the year, which is awesome. 6 points, 3 steals, 1 turnover on 3 for 6 shooting and 0 for 1 from 3. And then the starters, Bradley Beal still on a little bit of a minutes restriction, 21 minutes for him. That's the highest he's gotten in 3 games that he's played. 9 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 1 turnover on 3 for 8 shooting, 1 for 2 from 3, and made both his free throws. And then DJ, what a solid game for DJ, and what a solid start to the season he's had. 16 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 blocks, and no turnovers on 7 for 10 shooting and 2 for 5 from deep. If DJ is giving you double-figure points, especially 16 points on 70% shooting, I mean, we're going to be in business. And then we have the big 3. Kawhi Leonard, Ivica Zubac, and James Harden. Ivica Zubac had a solid game. 14 points, 11 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 blocks, no turnovers on 5 for 7 shooting and 4 for 4 from the foul line. My only complaint with that is that Zoo. My only complaint that Zoo is that he had 10 points in the first quarter and 4 the rest of the game. So we got to keep going to him. We cannot go away from him. And I get it. He needs to call for the ball. He needs to post up. But we cannot go away from him. It's just malpractice. And then James Harden, 24 points, 5 boards, 14 assists, 2 steals, 4 turnovers on 8 for 19 shooting, 4 for 13 from 3. So not the best 3-point shooting game for James. 4 of 5 from the foul line, but he played really well. And I think you could argue he was the player of the game, but I'm going to go with Kawhi. And I think something very simple to take away from these first 5 games for us is this. The 3 games that Kawhi has played well, we have won. And the 2 games that he has not, we've lost. So, I mean, sometimes it just comes down to that. 34 for Kawhi. 5, and that means we're 55 and 11, I think, or 55 and 13 with him having scored, like, since when he scores 30 plus as a Clipper. 34 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 6 steals, 2 turnovers, and wait for the efficiency. 11 for 16 from the field, 5 for 8 from 3, and 7 for 7 from the foul line. Solid win. We'll take it any way we can get it. And now I want to talk about the second Laker game. Yes, I know it's the second Laker game. I talked about the first one, but I'm going to try to talk about as many Laker games as I can. So I want to talk about this game, especially because Luka Doncic went absolutely berserk. So Lakers and Timberwolves, right, on Amazon Prime. Here are my thoughts on this one. To start the game, and it was remember, playoff rematch. The Wolves gave the Lakers belt last season, 4-1. No LeBron in this game still. You had Ayton on Gobert, Luka on Jaden McDaniels, Austin Reeves on Dante DiVincenzo, Gabe Vincent on Ant-Man, and Rui Hachimura on Julius Randle. On the other side, you had J-Mac on Luka, which those guys have gone back and forth over the last couple of years a lot. Anthony Edwards on Austin Reeves, Rudy Gobert on DeAndre Ayton, Julius Randle on Rui Hachimura, and Dante DiVincenzo on Gabe Vincent. DeAndre Ayton, Naz Reid, and Rudy Gobert were all in drop coverage, but both teams were switching 1 through 4, which you would expect. I thought Jaden McDaniels early in the game was very aggressive, going at Luka. That got him off to a pretty solid start. And the Lakers were giving Ant-Man the same exact treatment they gave him last year. He gets the ball in isolation, loading up, making sure he gets rid of the ball. That was their strategy. And it worked to get the ball out of his hands, but the Wolves were just lights out from 3 early. Dante DiVincenzo hit 2 contested threes off the catch. Julius Randle hit 2 open threes. They had 21 points in the first 4.5 minutes, and the Lakers called timeout down 13-21 to try to cool them down because they were throwing 2 on the ball with Ant-Man, and Ant-Man was making all the right plays and getting guys wide open threes, just like you saw last year. Now, Ant-Man then started to get going, and the Wolves went up 28-17, but the Lakers responded really well. An 8-0 run in that first quarter after Jake LaRavia hit an open 3, and then Luka hit a contested 3, and Luka just began what was an absolute masterclass, cooking in pick and roll, cooking in isolation, super aggressive every time he got the ball. They could not guard him without fouling, the Wolves. So many times Luka got bumped, and he just threw it up and got the call, but they were bumps. And he was just absolutely on one in this game. A heater from 3, 21 points in the first quarter, including the last 14 points of the quarter for the Lakers. Ant-Man had 14 of his own, so he was cooking as well. So it was a nice superstar duel. And both teams were like lights out from deep in that first quarter. So no Jackson Hayes in this game either for the Lakers. So when they went with Ayton out of the game, it was Vando small ball 5. Which actually didn't end up being too bad. So my takeaways after the first quarter, which the Wolves were up 40-36 after 1, were that the Luka was carrying, but they had to rebound better. They were getting killed on the glass. They also were taking some bad shots. They had to take better shots. Too many contested threes with players not named Luka Doncic. And then how could they stop the Wolves' offense, right? And I thought they did not do a very good job rebounding for that first half. Austin Reeves in particular did not box out. But he got going offensively in that second quarter. 5 points in a row before he was subbed out for Luka. He had a nice floater over Bones Highland going baseline, and then a contested three to tie the game at 52. And the surprising part was the non-Luka Doncic minutes went okay, and a large part because of Jared Vanderbilt and Marcus Smart's defense. Marcus Smart had these amazing steals that were typical of him, where he just snatched the ball away from Ant-Man. And it was where you're like, okay, that's why the Lakers brought him in. It was a tie game at 61 after a Marcus Smart three. Vando was also causing some turnovers, as he so often does, and doing a really good job of scrambling when they were in rotation defensively. So that's where Vando is really good. Offensively, he's not going to give you much, but in terms of scrambling and closing out and that kind of stuff and covering ground, he's really good. So the Wolves were up 18-2 in second chance points, 10 offensive boards to 1 in that first half. But the Lakers went on a 16-5 run to end the half, and a lot of it was Luka. 32 points at halftime. The Laker defense tightened up behind Smart, Vando, and even Rui and Gabe Vincent doing a pretty good job playing D. And I thought Rui did a really good job of getting going as well and knocking down his open shots and just being aggressive with Luka out of the game. As long as the Lakers, and my takeaway at halftime was if the Lakers just rebound, they're going to probably win this game the way that Luka's playing. So the Lakers outscored the Wolves 32-23 in that second quarter to be up 68-63 at halftime. And then the third quarter, they got off to a really good start. They went with a Luka high pick and roll every time, and Rudy Gobert started hedging to try to get the ball out of Luka's hands. And this was where you got the best quarter so far in a Laker uniform for DeAndre Ayton in these first two games. He had a nice pocket mid-range. He had an offensive board and putback. He had a contest that led to a fast break that Rui Hachimura finished to make it 76-68, which led to a timeout for Minnesota. And a nice pass from Luka when he got through two thrown on the ball to Ayton underneath. And in this game, Ayton was finally rolling hard to the basket. Finally rolling hard to the basket. So 9 points for Ayton in this third quarter. 6 points from Luka Doncic. But the Wolves were not going away. Julius Randle was continuing to make every three. When Naz Reid came in the game, they were switching 1 through 5. But as far as the Lakers, Rui Hachimura was excellent in this game. 2 and 1s in the third quarter. He had a nice putback. He attacked a closeout. He was really, really good. And I thought Reeves started hooping as well. A really nice little Pat Bev move on Naz Reid where he got by him, did that little pump fake, spun and finished. And then a deep three off the catch. Then he cooked Naz Reid in isolation again. 9 points for him in the third quarter. And Minnesota was just genuinely struggling to guard without fouling, mainly Reeves and Luka Doncic. So really good third quarter for the Lakers. It was just Luka and Reeves taking turns ball, but it was working. And everybody was actually playing off of them really well. And I thought the defensive piece for the Lakers worked very hard, and they had a sense of urgency in that third quarter, which is why they outscored Minnesota 40-31. And then they just kind of ran away with it after that. The defense locked in. The Wolves started settling for a lot of contested threes. They weren't going at Luka on defense, which was shocking to me, given how well Luka was playing. And then Luka had 5 straight points to make it 117-98. He and Reeves were just putting on an absolute show. DeAndre Ayton was rolling hard to the basket, and a 14-3 run made it 126-101 at one point. Jake LaRavia even getting in on the act defensively, doing some good things. And the Lakers got their first win of the season, 128-110. Ant-Man had 31 points in the game. Julius Randle had 26 points in the game. Dante DiVincenzo had 13 points. So they actually shot pretty well. 47% from the field, but just 34% from three in the end and 71% from the foul line, whereas the Lakers shot 59% from the field, 41% from three, and 81% from the line, but they shot 32 free throws, which was 11 more than the Wolves. As far as the Lakers, we saw a very it was a 9-man rotation. We saw a little bit of Dalton Connect, so you can say like 9.5, but 20 minutes from all the rotation players, really an 8-man rotation. Jared Vanderbilt played 20. He had 2 points, 7 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and 1 turnover on 0 for 2 shooting and missed his only 3. Made both his free throws. That's where he got his points, but really solid performance. 7 rebounds off the bench, 2 steals, 2 blocks. That's a Jared Vanderbilt kind of stat line. Then Marcus Smart. You would never be able to tell from his stats, but he was a plus 24, which was the highest of any player in the game. He had 3 points, 1 assist, 2 steals, and 2 turnovers on 1 for 2 shooting and made his only 3. Jake LaRavia, 6 points, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 turnover on 2 for 3 shooting and 1 for 2 from deep, 1 for 2 from the foul line. And then the starters all played 24 more minutes. Gabe Vincent had 5 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal on 2 for 5 shooting and 1 for 3 from deep. And then DeAndre Ayton, 15 points, 8 rebounds, 1 block, 2 turnovers on 7 for 11 shooting. His best game as a Laker, obviously bouncing back from that Golden State atrocity. And then Rui Hachimura, 23 points, 2 rebounds, no turnovers on an incredible 10 for 13 from the field and 2 for 4 from 3, 1 for 2 from the foul line, but he shot 77% from the field, which is ridiculous. And then Austin Reeves, 25 points, 7 rebounds, 11 assists, 1 turnover on 9 for 15 shooting, 2 for 5 from 3, and 5 of 5 from the foul line. A 60, 40, 100 game for Austin Reeves, who's been really solid in those first 2. And then Luka, most points through 2 games, surpassing Jerry West in Laker history in the first 2 games of the season. 49 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 turnovers on 14 for 23 shooting, which is 61%, 5 for 12 from 3, and 16 for 19 from the free throw line, 84%. It was an absolute Luka Doncic masterclass. And as a Clipper fan, I'm very well accustomed to seeing those. So good win for the Lakers. Will I do a live on the Kings game that they played after? I don't know. I'm trying to be better about that, but will I do a live tonight? No, this is going to be the only live tonight. I'll post that video of the Dodgers stuff, and then we got a vlog tomorrow. Maybe if I can watch the Lakers-Kings game, I can go live tomorrow to talk about it just because I want to check off as many Laker games as I can. But we'll see. I'm just so happy the Dodgers won. Appreciate all you guys for tuning in. If you're on Twitter, please tag at support and try to get them to get my account back because I need to get back on Twitter, but appreciate the YouTube people as always. If you're on Twitter, please come subscribe on YouTube. Trying to get to 14,000 subscribers would really mean a lot to me because that's where I make my money. That's where I've really built my platform. So please come to YouTube. Dime Dropper on YouTube. Peace out, everybody, and thank you to the people that are listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Have a good day, everybody.